I've went back and forth on whether or not I want to do this review or not, just because I've seen like the mob mentality that's online with people on both sides of the fence, whether they love this movie or they hate this movie or they're in between this movie. So, warning up front, if you have a different opinion of this movie than I do, that's fine. I'm not going to debate you. I'm not going to say you're wrong. I'm not going to say you're stupid, because to each their own. This is just my personal opinion of what I thought about the brand spanking new Halloween Kills that I seen on Peacock, which I seen it over a week ago, I think, or a week ago now, because it was supposed to be out on Friday, but Peacock had it up at like 11 o'clock that night, I believe. So, uh, also, before I watched Halloween Kills, I went back and watched the last Halloween one from 2018 because I didn't want to miss anything. And I'm glad I did that. And I suggest if you watch it, you do the same thing, because there's little things like two people that are kind of like somewhat more important characters in this one are barely seen in the background during like the scene where Michael was going through killing people on the last Halloween movie. So stuff like that, I definitely would recommend. Also, maybe it hampers things in a way, because I feel like the tones of these movies are off. And just spoiler alert, I did not like Halloween Kills. And I'll say I love the gore. The gore was great. I love gore. I love slasher movie gore. I love stuff like that. I love Jason movies because of that. So that's probably why I'm such a fan of the gore stuff. So as far as the kills and the gore and all that goes, yeah, A plus. Everything else, not so much. And the thing with me is like, it's all a matter of the feel and the vibe of the movie. And the 2018 Halloween was very creepy. And when I first seen it, I liked it. Then I thought about it, and I was like, oh, maybe it wasn't because I thought it was. But then I watched it again, and I was like, well, this is pretty decent. 3.5 for me out of 5 is what I would give Halloween from 2018. This movie, the tone is off, and this picks up like right after the last movie. You know, I've seen Michael Myers. He's supposed to be burning to death in the house, but we know evil never dies. Even though you could take a drinking game out this time from this movie, and every time someone hollers "evil dies tonight," you could take a shot and you'd be wasted in like 5 minutes. But nonetheless, that's all more on with that here in a minute. As we pick right off, the firefighters go and they go to put the fire out, and he slashes his way out in like one of the better scenes of the movies, and then he's just on a big old killing spree in Haddonfield once again, while Laurie's at the hospital and Sheriff, I want to say Brackett, although Brackett's here, believe it or not, but the other sheriff, that I can't think of his name, but he's in the hospital too. You thought he was gone, he's not. So he's in the hospital. So now the townspeople, led by a lot of old characters from the old original movie, are now got the whole mom mentality, and they're going to kill Michael Myers because evil dies tonight, as they say 425 times in the movie. Uh, the tone's off. That's my thing. It's like there's some scenes, like when Laurie's at the hospital and all that, it feels like the last movie and it blends in pretty well with it. But then when you've got stuff like Tommy Doyle and all this stuff, it just seems like it's a completely different thing. It don't even seem like it's Halloween. It feels like it's someone meant to make a goofier Halloween movie. Which, if it was a standalone movie, maybe you could take that, like if this was years different, it's like a different story, and this time it's going to be comedic. Yeah, sure. But this is a movie that's supposed to link in with the previous movie and the next movie to create one big coherent story, and it just does not match the last movie, in my opinion. Like, yeah, you had some funny stuff in the last one, like the nerdy kid trying to hit on Laurie's granddaughter and all that stuff, but it wasn't like over the top. Like this one goes over the top, and as much as people like some of the townspeople, like Big John and Little John, and those are good actors, and I ain't gonna argue that, but it's just the whole comedic tone and vibe of those guys just seem way off from everything else. And then you got the whole subplot of the one guy from, the crazy house that's escaped from the last movie that you'll remember seeing from the last movie if you watched it, and the town people are chasing him around, and all that just seems completely pointless. I mean, it feels like it's just a bunch of filler to get to like the main point at the end, just to set up more motivation for Laurie to go after Michael in the next movie. And while I'm all for like the whole thing about, Michael just does what he does, and of course in this movie he kind of like clarifies why he does what he does. It seems like this whole point of this movie was just to give Laurie Strode a reason to go do what she's going to do in the next movie. And I guess that's okay for what it is. I mean, you can make 5,000 more of these Halloween movies. I'm going to watch them, but I'm obviously not going to like every one of them. And this one seemed like a giant misstep, almost pointless, besides the gore. Because you brought back all these old characters that, Some of them get their fate changed since part two is no longer canon, and you kind of waste them a little bit, and you make everybody look dumb in town. The whole town's full of idiots, basically. There's not a smart person in Haddonfield, but maybe Laurie, and that's questionable at times. So overall, if you love this movie, or if you like this movie, I'm proud you do, and I hope you continue to enjoy what you enjoy. As for me, Outside the Kills, didn't like it. So Halloween Kills, 2 out of 5. Very disappointing, especially compared to the last one. And the last one wasn't perfect, but it makes basically it makes Rob Zombie's Halloween 2 look like the original Halloween in comparison in some regards. And I know that's a hot take and probably not cool to say, but that's my opinion. I do like some of the flashback stuff it does, but still, it's kind of a mess. So, 2 out of 5. Halloween Kills. Let me know, hopefully politely, what you think below.